Hi, welcome back to The Soul of Social. I'm Karen Accavallo from Human Touch Media, and with me is Becky Livingston, the CEO of Penn Hill Marketing. And Becky's going to answer a few more of your most pressing social media questions today. So thank you to Becky for taking her time to do this.
Thanks, Karen, for helping me out with it. This is a fun thing we've got going on here, this interview style.
I'm in outer space today, as you can see.
I see that. Yeah. I've got a cactus over here on the sidebar. We're doing what we can do wherever we can do it.
That's right. Okay, so the first question we have today is from Sally. And this is a question I think that a lot of people may have. I know I get it from my own clients, and sometimes I have trouble deciding the answer for them as well. So it is, what's better, a boosted post or a Facebook ad?
That is really a great question. And the reason it's a great question is because there's a lot more difficulty with an advertisement than there is with a boosted post. As you know, a boosted post is when you share your content that already is on your Facebook or your social media stream, Twitter, LinkedIn, doesn't matter. It already exists. And the boosted post is just amplifying where that's going to go. It goes to your followers and the other target market that you choose. But it's an existing social media post. It's not new creative. It's not new headlines. It doesn't link over necessarily to a website or a landing page. It is existing content that you're amplifying for a short period of time. Boosted posts are not allowed to be shared for weeks on end. They're usually a 24-hour, possibly up to 7 days, depending on which platform you're using, to push that content out. It doesn't cost a lot of money. For example, you can do it on Facebook for $1 a day. On LinkedIn, it doesn't cost that much, but you can only boost for a certain period of time. What that does is it takes the existing content and shares it out with the target market. Advertising, on the other hand, generally goes along with a business goal where you're trying to complete an objective, generate a lead, increase sales, traffic to your website. Most of the time, advertising is related to sales. You're looking to generate money from it. A boosted post might be something more for brand awareness. You're announcing a new product. For example, the Soul of Social Media will be doing boosted posts for that. It's not necessarily a hard sell that's going to generate income. It's meant more for increasing engagement, increasing likes, shares, comments, things like that, where advertising is meant to generate revenue, whether that's lead generation, sales, marketing initiative, registrations for events, things like that. It's a lot more complex to do an advertisement, and it generally costs more money because the advertising time period is a lot longer. You may run an ad for 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, which you cannot do with a boosted post. So an advertisement allows you a lot more flexibility with your target market, allows you a lot more flexibility with adding multiple pieces of creative. For example, you may run the same ad but use a different picture and have 4 or 5 of those. You may have the same ad with a different headline. You might have 4 or 5 of those. You could do advertisement with images, video, carousel, which is multiple images. A lot of flexibility with that, and a lot of flexibility with your target market. The larger the audience, the bigger the budget. So for example, if you're going to advertise a piece of information nationally, you can't do that on $10. It'll never reach the other coast.
Right.
Where a boosted post could reach the other coast, but only for a short period of time. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's generally length of time, what your objective is. Is it to share information? Is it to increase engagement? Is it to clicks, shares, likes? That's boosting. If it's to generate a sale or lead or cause someone to complete an action, that's usually an advertisement, and it's a bigger budget, runs a longer period of time.
And is there ever any kind of content that you might do both for? Like if you create a really fantastic post and it's getting a lot of engagement and it's getting a huge reach and you decide to boost it, just because it's there, and you get those little flame messages from Facebook saying this is performing 90% better than any post we've ever seen in the history of Facebook. Boost it for $10.
Right.
Would you also consider doing that as as a paid ad, or would you change up the content at all? Or
That's a great idea to combine the two things. One, if I were to use both of them, I would probably use the boosted post that exists for awareness. Maybe someone doesn't know it actually exists. For example, the soul of social media. They don't know it exists. So I'll boost that for a little bit. And then I'll create a landing page that allows people for me to say, oh, let's interview this person, or let's add more questions to something. So it's a lead generation option because someone has to fill out a form to submit something to get it back to me, where the boosted post doesn't necessarily link to a form. It's just basically an awareness piece. So I could do a combination of those things. Different objectives, though.
okay, excellent. That changes the way I was going to answer a few questions to my own clients. So thank you.
Sure.
All right, we have another question here from Doug. And Doug writes, my Facebook ads do well as far as reach and engagement, but they don't result in many sales. What am I doing wrong?
That's very typical. I try to let my clients know that social media is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And sometimes they come to me, new people come to me and they say, oh my gosh, I need to make some new sales, or I need new leads. Let's do social media. And I'll say, not unless you plan to do advertising, because social media is the long haul. It's relationship building. It's generating some kind of back and forth between the client and the business owner. So yes, you may have some things that are getting engagements, clicks, likes, maybe comments if you're lucky. What are you doing wrong? Nothing necessarily, but what you might want to consider is, instead of just putting content out there that people can like and share, much like Instagram allows you to do, use things that allow people to engage. Open-ended questions, fill in the blanks, polls, things that are going to give you back information about who your people are so that you can build things that they need. So for example, if I did a fill in the blank question, fill in the blank, my biggest social media pain point is fill in the blank. I can then create something that says, this target market has this pain point. Here's something I created to help you through that pain point, and they're going to want that piece of information. If I were to share something fun, like a poll, like I just did this with the logo for the Soul of Social Media, I started out with 6 images, broke it down to 3, and put those 3 on Facebook, and said, here's 3, which one do you like? And they picked the one that we're using. Ironically, that one wasn't my favorite one, but that's the one that the audience chose. And I said, if that's a consistent one that they like, then we'll use that one because it resonates with them for some reason. So that's what I did. I asked them, I polled them. I said, which one do you like, A or B or C? They gave me the answer. So what you're thinking about doing is, how do I engage them in a way that doesn't cause sales? It doesn't feel like I'm being sold to. Something fun. Have you ever taken a quiz on Facebook? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have. To tell me
Yes.
what color my aura is or something like that. Yeah.
I just did one, and I try not to do them very often, but I did one for my Disney candle fragrance. And it ended up being something with cupcakes. I don't remember, strawberry cupcakes or something strange. I don't know what it was. But that data can then tell me, oh, consistently people answered these questions this way. They looked at this kind of information. They shared the information once I gave it to them. What can I build in to make people do more with what I'm giving them, which allows me to collect data on them and create something that they need? So you're not necessarily doing anything wrong. You're just missing one step of the piece.
And then would you kind of take that further? So if my ads are drawing thousands and thousands of people to my landing website, is there another suggestion you'd make to have, so I think that's what happens a lot. They end up going to the website, but then they end up not sealing the deal. They don't make a purchase, or they don't fill out a form or anything. So you kind of use the same tactic once they get to the website to have something that grabs them, or a giveaway or something to engage with them once they get to their website.
Yep. The harder the sell, the less likely people are going to do it. So if I have a fun social media post on the front, then they get to the landing page and it's a hard sell. send me $299.95 to get this course for, whatever. That hurts. That's like, what? I don't even know who you are yet. You haven't built a relationship. You haven't given me anything. So is there something you can freebie to start pulling them into your business? And then that's when you start to say, okay, hey, I see that you've downloaded this content stream 4 or 5 times. You might be interested in taking my 1-hour webinar on social media tips and tricks. It's $15.
Right.
And that's how you start to build it.
Okay, great. Great advice, as always.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you again for joining us. Click subscribe down there on Becky's YouTube channel so that you can be the first to be notified when the latest installment of The Soul of Social is published. And thanks again to Becky for all her wise, sage advice. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Karen.
Hey, thank you.